Everyone, will call the Human Services Committee to order. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. The chair will entertain a motion. Thank you, Commissioner Snell. Commissioner Williams, any questions on the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We're now up to public comment. Each individual will state their name, please, and has 3 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. There will be another public comment opportunity at the end of the meeting. Is there public comment? Please approach the podium and make sure the green light is on the microphone and let us know your name.
Okay. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Brian Bowman. I'm a retired registered nurse with years of experience working with senior citizens in Jackson County. Currently, I serve on the Advisory Council on Aging. I spread the word of what the good work they're doing and other seniors in our community. Recently, I've applied for the public seat on the Wellwise Area Agency on Aging, and I would appreciate your support in my appointment to that position. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Further public comment? More public comment? Any more? Last call. Okay, thank you. Public comment is now closed. We'll now move to committee items. The minutes of last month's meeting, the chair will entertain a motion. Thank you, Commissioner Snell and Commissioner Williams. Any comments with respect to the minutes for last month? Hearing none, all those in favor will please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We now move to appointments. The first item on the list is Lifeways, a primary consumer. Current member is Carl Rice Jr. And we have an applicant, Douglas Brinker, but I don't know that Mr. Brinker is qualified to be appointed at this time. He is an employee of Lifeways and I don't think can be appointed while he is still an employee. Are there any nominations from the floor for primary consumers for Lifeways? Hearing none, we'll continue to hold Mr. Brinker's application until he is qualified and in case other applicants show themselves. We'll move on now to the Wellwise Area Agency on Aging. There is a public seat currently held by Deborah Shepard Eccleton. That is for a new term expiring April of 2027. There are 4 applicants: Karen Wooten, Jennifer Shimilewski, Shanice Davenport, and Brian Bowman. Chair will entertain nominations.
Nominate Wooten.
Wooten is nominated. Thank you.
Nominate Shanice Davenport.
Shanice Davenport is nominated. Chair will nominate Jennifer Shimilewski. Any other nominations? Madam Clerk, if you will call the roll, and I will remind members that since we have 3 nominees, the lowest vote getter will drop off and will continue until we have an applicant to be suggested to the full county board. Madam Clerk, at your convenience.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Baer.
Karen Wooten.
Commissioner Willis.
Shanice Davenport.
Commissioner Williams.
Davenport.
Commissioner Snell.
Wooten.
Chairman Pileski.
Shimilewski.
Okay, Shimilewski falls off.
Shimilewski falls off. The 2 remaining nominees are Wooten and Davenport. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Willis.
Shanice Davenport.
Commissioner Williams,
Davenport.
Commissioner Snell,
Wooten.
Commissioner Bear, Chairman Pulaski.
Wooten.
3-2, Wooten.
Thank you. Wooten will be forwarded to the full board for next Tuesday's meeting. The next item for Wellwise is a commissioner seat for a term expiring April of 2027. Current member is Tony Bear. At present, we have no applicants for that seat. Commissioner Snell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to self-nominate myself.
Ray Snell is nominated. Are there other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of Ray Snell to be the commissioner representative on Wellwise will please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Snell. Appreciate it very much. We now move on to the medical care facility monthly financial report. Madam Director, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Okay. So we are going to go through our March financials. So March was a little bit behind what we were expecting. So just to prepare you for that. So our revenue was $2,561,196, which was behind budget by $60,765. Expenses were over budget. Actual expenses were $2,998, which was $169,965 over budget. Our net position was negative $150,802, which was a variance of negative $230,730. Census for the month of March was below expectations with 181.1 for our actual census, and we budgeted for 184. We did have 49 admissions and 45 discharges. So overall, we had a variance of 2.9 bed days for the month of March. To give you an overall for the year, revenue is behind budget by $80,720. Expenses are over budget by $64,984. And our change in net position, we're behind the budgeted net position by $145,704. Census month year to date is lagging behind budget by 4.4 bed days. We've had a total of 187 admissions and 185 discharges. When we shared the monthly financials with the DHHS board, we made the decision that we would move forward with looking at a budget amendment for this next board meeting, which is scheduled for next Monday. So we'll be presenting a budget amendment then to look at census and making sure that we're staying in line with what we're currently seeing as the trend line. If you go to the next page of your report, you can see our trend line census to date. So in March, we did see a deep drop off in our census, and into April, we have seen recovery in that in the last week. So we're just really looking at those census numbers in that budget amendment to make sure that that's realistic going forward. We're looking at probably bringing down that amended budget a couple budget or bed days to be a little bit more consistent with what we're seeing year to date so far. And we're continuing to work on the expense side of that. On the next page, you will see that AR days out remain at 56 days from our goal of 54. Cash on hand is estimated at 23.5 days. And again, this doesn't include the $3.6 million that's earmarked for the Medicaid repayment, nor any funds currently invested or in MOE. which is approximately 4.5 million in additional funds. And we are projecting MOE usage for this year at $168,000. And that is my update for this month. I did want to share that due to the earlier board meeting for the month of May, I won't have financials approved by the board for my report in June. So I would like to request if I could forego the report in June and report on both months in July.
That sounds fine to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Overton, will you make sure the Delane has that? Thank you. Questions for the medical care facility, please?
Just one quick question, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Williams, please.
Thank you. Just in terms of census, what would be considered full capacity?
Full capacity would be 194 residents.
194, okay. Thank you. Nothing further.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion to receive the report.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Snell and Commissioner Williams. Any further questions? Tony, go ahead.
Thank you. These numbers show,
Is your microphone on, Tony?
no, it's not. Thank you for the reminder.
Thank you.
These numbers show a negative balance, 230,000 to 153,000. What corrective measures can you take to get this out of the red?
So part of that is looking at our budgeted revenue. We had budgeted for a higher number of census days. So that's part of what we're seeing with that being in the red. So we're going to look at making some adjustments on that so that the actuals to budget are more in alignment. I will say, when you look at the overall scope of the budget for the facility, which comes to about $30 million, the variances here in percentages are not super high, but that doesn't mean that we don't want to pay attention to them and to correct them as quickly as we can. We're also looking at our expenses every month. We've been working with all of our department heads at trying to reconfigure when there has been some overages due to needs of the residents. Sometimes our residents have specific needs that we have to meet. We have to get certain equipment at a certain time, so we're trying to offset those budgets in the next month, so that way we don't continue to grow that deficit. So in the month of January, we had actually made up some of the budget deficit that we had planned for in the 2025 budget. And then in February, we lost a little bit of that margin, and again in March, we saw that margin shrink and then turn the other way. So we're really watching this every month to see how we can decrease that. But I know that's not giving you specifics, but does that help you understand the process that we're currently using?
So the main thing is you budgeted for more patients than you currently have.
That has been the big impacting factor on the revenue side, and then some of the expense side has been some unexpected expenses to meet specific resident needs in the last 2 months. Especially as we've seen more admissions this year than what we have typically seen in a month. So for instance, if we have residents that require catheters, for instance, we're seeing an increase in that budget line item because we're having more of those types of residents, and that's causing some overages in the expenses, so we're trying to adjust those as the year goes on. But we also have to take the residents that the hospital needs placement for. So some of those may be higher acuity residents that require more medical appliances, such as catheters or oxygen tanks and things like that. So that's also impacting the the expense side.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Did we get a motion to receive? We have a motion to receive, which properly second. All those in favor of receiving the report will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're now up to the Michigan Works Southeast Semi-Annual Report. Welcome.
Alrighty. Good afternoon, Commissioners, Administrator Overton, and Deputy Administrator Kubitsky. My name is Shamar Heron. I'm the Executive Director of Michigan Works Southeast. I have my colleagues with me. Many of you may know Angela Watkins. She is our Service Center Manager for the entire county of Jackson, and just very fantastic at what she does. So proud of Angela and her great work. I also have my Deputy Director with me, Misty Schulters. And we know we are here for a good time, not a long time. So we're going to get this presentation going. Again, we cover 5 counties. Those counties are Hillsdale, Jackson, Lenawee, Livingston, and Washtenaw, with an overall population of almost 1 million people between those 5 counties, and a labor force of 445,000 individuals. Those are individuals who are of age and looking. So I like to use this statistic to help people understand. I think the proxy of using unemployment is helpful, but it's not the best proxy. We need to know how many people we have in the labor force. And so we hover right around 60% of that population in our labor force. We have 12% of the overall region that is below the poverty line. You can see our numbers have went down in terms of the Alice population, which is a good thing. And this is another stat I like to make sure we share, which is 37% of the workers in the region travel more than 30 minutes to work, and 15% travel more than 60%. The reason I like to keep this stat in this presentation is our career seekers go where the positions are. And so our idea of boundaries doesn't show up the same way it does in terms of thinking people only stay in one area. They travel to make sure they can take care of their families. Looks like we missed a slide, but I want to make sure I thank Commissioners William and Commissioner Snell. Yep, thank you for being a part of our consortium board. That board's responsibility, as you may know, is to administer our funds appropriately as our fiscal agent. That means not only are those 2 commissioners responsible, but you as a board are responsible for how we deliver our federal workforce dollars. And that's why we take that task very seriously, and we have reports at every board meeting for our commissioners to make sure they can report back on the health and well-being of the organization. They also approve all contracts, and they're the employer of record. So all 80 of the Michigan Works employees are employed by our Michigan Works Consortium. So thank you, whoever is running the slides, for going back for me. Thank you. Up next is Angela.
Thank you, Shamar. At Michigan Works Southeast, the services that we provide, we focus on removing barriers that individuals have to employment. We are also part of the Care Hub. Some individuals walk into our center asking for our assistance, but then we're also part of the Jackson Care Hub. We receive referrals with individuals' contact information, and we reach out to them. Instead of them having to come to us, we reach out to them and provide services. And some of the services that we provide, you can see our top 5, transportation. And when we remove that barrier, it could be anywhere from repairing a vehicle to purchasing a vehicle or providing bus passes so they can use the local transportation. We also provide assistance in individuals who want to go back to school. We can pay for tuition for individuals to go back to training, and that can range from medical assistant all the way to truck drivers. Next slide. Okay. So in focusing on removing these barriers, we have increased the wages of the people of the community by 69%. We've served a total of 257 families, and we spent a total of over $180,000 just here in Jackson. And again, this benefits not only the employer, but the employee by removing those barriers and also allowing them to retain their employment, which gives us an 83% in employment retention.
Excellent. Thanks, Angela. So Angela talked a lot about working with our career seekers. We also have business services available. So I wanted to highlight a couple of the employers and how they've engaged with us for business services in the last year. So Henry Ford Health, one of the things about Henry Ford is that they utilize the workforce funding to help develop career pathways for their own employees. So someone may hire in to work in the cafeteria, or maybe they're in janitorial support. They do job fairs inside Henry Ford Health, and they connect those individuals to the career pathway that suits them best, and then use workforce funding to help develop that individual. And so that's really a unique approach to growing your own talent, and we absolutely love partnering with Henry Ford Health on that aspect. America's Preferred Home Warranty, they have a similar approach to their workforce development, so we have been able to connect them with 16 people already this year that are starting out in their entry-level positions, and then they get a career pathway plan. And so America's Preferred Home Warranty, they partner with us for us to offset the costs of those onboarding. And so their initial training period, we can help offset the cost of that, which helps them continue to take that funding and grow and develop their individuals. And so that's just one of the ways that we connect with the employers outside of talent recruitment, helping them develop their job descriptions and really focus on those talent solutions so they can continue to be competitive in Jackson County. Next slide. And so a lot of times to be competitive and to grow your workforce, that takes money. And so this is just a snippet of in 2024, what the Jackson County businesses were able to tap into to help offset the costs of training their workforce. And so Going Pro Talent Fund, over $1 million was invested in apprenticeship, new hires, and upskilling current workforce here in Jackson County. The on-the-job training program, again, that's that entry level, helping someone with their first 10 weeks of training costs. And incumbent worker training, that's upskilling an individual so that business can stay competitive, but also that individual becomes competitive because they have training in a hard technical skill. And so in 2024, we worked with several businesses across Jackson County, but we had 43 of them tap into that funding. So that's 43 unique businesses that utilized our workforce development funding, worked with our business services team, and we helped them grow their workforce here in Jackson.
All righty, and just to close up, we talk about collaboration. And so again, thank you, Angela and Misty. I don't like to be here and not give you all an assignment, if I may, right? And so what we need is your support and collaboration in terms of getting the word out and advocating for Michigan Works Southeast. So if you know a business in need, you just heard about our business services. If you know a career seeker who we could assist, please send them our way. You notice we didn't say a job seeker. We're focused on preparing individuals for careers. So we want to make sure that they have sustainable skills that continue to grow and that are transferable, and we help them across the continuum of employment. Are you working on any major projects, whether it's with our economic development partners or someone else? We have the ability to partner well across all industry. And lastly, if there's any community events that you would like us to be a part of, to speak on behalf of employment training, workforce development, we are here, but we need you putting the word out. I'll give you one example. We have the ability to help individuals remove their transportation barrier. So if you know someone who needs a vehicle fixed so that they can get to work, please send them to Angela. If you know someone who needs a vehicle, period, there's some caps on how much we can spend, but we have some dollars to help those individuals. And so with that, I ask that you help us support the members of your community by collaborating with us. And I think the last slide just gives you all our contact information. Again, Angela is our service center manager. Misty is our deputy director focused on all operational sides of the business, meaning engaging both the career seekers, the employers, and our adult learners. And then myself, I'm just here for my dashing good looks. So any questions of us?
Commissioner Willis, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon. I was going to say good morning, Shamar.
Good afternoon.
We do know Mrs. Watkins. We appreciate the work that she does here in the community. Does some job fairs, some different things here that we really appreciate. Question for you is, do we still have the youth work experience program in Jackson? And if so, how
Come
are we
on up,
supporting you?
Angela. Angela has worked tirelessly on this, so I like to
sir.
give credit where credit is due.
Yes, we do. We are starting the summer youth employment. Actually, we'll be meeting with the students and their parents on Wednesday.
Okay.
And so the city will take 2 of our youth and we'll employ them. So thank you for that. And then also thank you, Deborah and Michael and the HR team of the county that is serving as our payroll administrator. But yes, and we still offer paid work experience in the youth program also.
Okay, so for families looking for that, that's already out posted and everything for them?
Yes, it's on our website. We're still taking applications up until Wednesday.
All right. Thank you so much for what you do. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure thing. Thank you. Commissioner Snell, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, being on that board means a lot to me. It is very focused on what they do. The leadership is very passionate about what they do. And it's good to come into a meeting where people are prepared and willing and able to answer a lot of our questions. And we've put you through some very interesting questions. So appreciate all the work that you do.
We appreciate you. And Commissioner Williams, thank you.
Okay. With respect to incumbent worker training, what would that involve if where someone needs, someone's got a job, but they need some training for it? Give me an example of what that would be.
Yeah, absolutely. So we heard from Jackson County Medical Facility earlier today, right? We recently did an incumbent worker training application. So the employer initiates the request and they put a grant application in demonstrating what the need is and how that training could help upskill their workforce and help them be more competitive. So with Jackson County Medical Facility, they had a need to train in a very intense wound care because the individuals that they were seeing were coming in and they needed to be able to support that need. And so we did training for 10 nurses in the specialized wound care, and we covered the cost of that. So the employer chooses the training facility. We vet to make sure it's a technical, hard skill training. We do shy away from annual type communication type trainings, time management. We want it to be a hard skill that makes that business be more competitive and the individual can then take with them, right? If they should choose to continue to pursue opportunities with that employer or elsewhere.
Okay. And then are you set to be at the Back to School Blast in late July?
Yes, we are.
Bless you. Thank you. My wife will be ever so pleased to hear that. She organizes it, and
Yes.
yeah, I get a bonus point at home for making sure you're there.
Tell her that I filled out the application and we will be there.
Excellent, thank you, appreciate it very much. Any further questions? And have we got a motion? Motion to receive the report. Thank you, Commissioner Snell and Commissioner Williams. All in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you all.
you.
Take care.
Yep, looking day.
And now the Veterans Affairs Semi-Annual Report. Mr. Director, good to see you.
Seeing you.
Thank you, Commissioners. So on this next slide, we just basically have the information from our office. We had we'll go through them line by line. There's some additions I need to add to some things that happened this morning. The Veterans Committee Board is sitting with full four members for our monthly meetings. We get notice this morning that one of our board members is going to have to resign due to a terminal cancer diagnosis. So he has not been attending a few meetings, so in the process, I've kind of brought in someone as a potential replacement. So we did get the application from that gentleman this morning. I'm just waiting on the resignation letter from the board member, and we'll get that to Delane as soon as possible, and that way we can probably do it within this business to get the next guy appointed. So that way we're sitting at the full board. The American Legion seeing veterans 1 day a week in our office. That's down from 2.5 days that they used to provide. One main reason is they're losing people. People are going to other avenues in life, and they're having a problem trying to hire people. So it's a tough job because what they do is they travel through the state, and we provide them a place to basically see our veterans and help us out with our workload. But it's getting challenging, and they're under some pretty strict scrutiny right now with the state threatening to pull grant money from all of the service organizations that they supply to them now. So there's some stuff coming down the line that doesn't look favorable on their end, which is going to have a direct reflection on what services they provide to the local counties. So I hope they come to an agreement with the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, but I don't know what that looks like right now. It's just kind of been up in the air. Some of the things in the office, we answered 1,839 phone calls in the last this half of the year. That's about 306 phone calls a month. So Stephanie's probably wore out 2 phones since she started with me back a year ago, but I asked her this morning, I said, is it everything you thought it would be? She says, I never thought it would be. She didn't know anything about Veterans Affairs, but she didn't realize the amount of phone calls that come into the office. And of course, every phone call usually gets a return call, so it's challenging. We made 489 appointments and visits, and that's counting some of the walk-in traffic we have at the office. We try to coordinate in the office. The walk-ins we try to limit. Sometimes you just can't do it, but we try to limit that, just get them on appointment, so that way when they come there, it's a one-stop shop. You know, just coming in there, walking in, and it may be just coming in because they couldn't. Some people, believe it or not, don't have phones. They'll bang on the door. They don't even have, they just don't, they don't call. So we're always entertaining to them. But with the way our offices are set up at the Human Services Building, the doors are locked. So but there's a reason for that. But they're adapting to it. I mean, the hallways are secured. And then I attended a conference in February up at for the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. They've kind of pulled all their support money from the organizations for training, and they kind of want to do it themselves. So in true state fashion, they're having these trainings for their accreditations. It's too bad to see that a lot of the training stuff that we used to go to for our accreditations was usually picked up by the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, and they put a notice out to the organizations that they're stopping that. Along with the National County Councilors, they've pulled all their support for their training budgets too. I think they're just trying to position themselves to be the agency of choice. That's what we're coming up with. Stephanie, we finally got her notary so she can do the county burial work. She's also, due to the database that the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency provides to the county at no cost, she's required to be accredited. So we're working on getting her trip trained. But the person in charge of trip training at the regional office in Detroit took the buyout that was offered, and they have no one in that position right now to get that training online. So we're waiting on their portion at the federal level so they can get the grant, the access, so we can get some trip training scheduled for her. And it's all online, but it's just kind of it's an ongoing process. And then and it goes along with getting her accredited. If you look at the graph on the back, that kind of is a graph of how our business is on a monthly basis. And you can see on here at the bottom, each color code represents what we do. The light green is the appeals, and then dependent claims, adding on kids, wives, reporting divorces, or deaths to a spouse or the veteran. The other thing is the records. People want to have their records reviewed, and I don't blame them because of the fact that when they publish that 85% of all VA claims have mistakes in them. So with that being said, they want to make sure that they are getting their claims and getting paid the proper rate. So they come in and basically sit down with us and review their rating decisions. Burial claims, our burial claims this year are, I mean, I'll be honest with you, they're up, and it shows in the amount of flags that we purchased this year. And that I wanted to thank each one of you commissioners for allowing us to have that in our budget for the flags. We actually, just a little tidbit, we have 15,840 flags. The last of the flags were picked up this morning by the respected organization. So all 15,840 flags are out for the cemeteries in Jackson County. So that's a service that other counties and neighboring counties, actually we have other neighboring counties that have organizations that call me and ask if they can purchase flags. And we do afford to purchase those, and they pay us for the flags. So we do, offer that out to some of the other counties that, contact us, because getting flags at a rate, the average rate, if you went and called for a box of flags, about $1.50 a flag, where we got them this year for 94 cents with shipping. So for that $15,000 or 15,000 flags equated out to $14,000 is what we paid for the flags. So, and that's huge because no other county around us does that. So I want to thank each and every one of you commissioners for allowing us to have that in our budget, because you won't believe the feedback I get from people in other counties that just think it's appalling to their county. I said, well, that's the difference between Jackson County when it comes to our veteran population and the other counties around us. So I do want to thank you guys for that. And when you look at, and I didn't catch this till this morning, the last dark green, which is miscellaneous. It should have been, it's miscellaneous claims. She didn't add the claims on it, and I didn't catch it till this morning. That is deciphering between our pension claims and our service-connected claims. So that's what that large number, you can see that's a mainstay of our businesses, those claims work, and that's what the miscellaneous is. And I will have that corrected on the next time we have this graph to show that it's the claims. With that, a couple of dates to remind you of. Memorial Day is coming up next week? Next Monday. And Memorial Day, we don't call it a parade. They call that a memorial service. 2 weeks. So they don't call it a parade. So when people say, when's the Memorial Day parade? That doesn't get well received in this county from the Veterans Council. They believe that that's a memorial service. That's why they run it and they provide. So I don't have anything to do with that. The Veterans Council does. Dave Wellahan, my predecessor, runs that. But yeah, if you call him, when's the date of the parade? He doesn't.
Well, they haven't one in Spring Arbor yet.
What's that?
There's a parade in Spring Arbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have one in Spring Arbor.
And then, but they have a memorial service where they place a wreath and that. So that's what they kind of consider it. And then we also have the Veterans Appreciation Days coming up on the 17th of May, Armed Forces Day, actually. And I will be attending on Saturday. I was requested to do be there at their ceremony in Homer. No,
Questions
Hanover, I'm
for
sorry.
the Veterans Office? Questions? Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I recently had the occasion to use your services, and we got there by bureaucratic tie-ups with your sister organizations, and it was like doing the Texas two-step, here, and you get to the right person, you think, and then they refer you back to the person you just talked to. After a few days of that, being told that we pretty much can't get anything done, we stopped in your office, no appointment. You listened to us, you got the information. You didn't say you couldn't do it. You said, let me look into it, come back the next day. And we did. You took care of the problem, and my son feels a lot better. He'll be seeing you soon on some other things, I'm sure. But I really appreciate the personal attention you gave, not only my son and me, because you didn't know who I was, but a couple other people that were there at the same time. So appreciate all your service.
Absolutely. was funny because with that, my secretary is at the front counter, and when she first talked to him, I was like, "What'd you say the name was?" She was with his father. I said, "That's a commissioner." I said, "You need to let me know when people come to the front, especially." But I do appreciate that, and I will tell you that we hear that a lot from other organizations. It's just getting someone to personally talk to you in this system is by far. They all want to talk on computer, but they don't want to talk to people individually. But I'm glad to hear that your son's doing good, and it was my pleasure, as the office's pleasure, to help you guys out. I thank you.
Any further questions? Although, I'm sorry, we have a motion. Let's have a motion to receive the report. Thank you, Commissioner Willis and Commissioner Bear. All those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Commissioners.
coming in today. And now on to the Department on Aging. Madam Director, I think I saw her back there. Yes, there she is, with a tray even.
Yes. Seems like once a year we come to you and we talk about the big tray order, and of course that is on the agenda this month. Let me get my report here. So we're requesting to be able to get this approved through this board and then go to the full board to discuss the tray purchase. We're looking to purchase 336 cases of these. In each case, there's 800 trays. The cost would be $92,882.72. This is about a $3,000 increase from '24. We did reach out to CoPro to see if they were able to get these trays at a cheaper value for us. They were not able to do that, so this is the best pricing available, going directly to the manufacturer. We use an Oliver machine, and they make all repairs to that machine. They send parts if we need to get new cutters or any kind of repairs to that. They send somebody out to fix it right away. And then what we do is we buy the large quantity of trays, and we do find different spots within that building to help store them all. But purchasing that larger amount of trays actually saves quite a bit of money. If we were to just look at purchasing like 32 cases at a time, it would increase the cost by $7,688. By just looking at between purchasing 168 cases to the 336, we're saving about $1,400. So again, trying to be good stewards with the dollars that the public has helped us with, we're trying to go ahead and purchase 336 cases.
Questions for Danielle as to this issue? The chair will entertain a motion to adopt the staff recommendation and with recommendation to the full board for approval. Thank you, Commissioner Snell and Commissioner Willis. Any further questions? All those in favor will please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. One more year of trays.
Yes. And that we did extend that out. When I looked back when we purchased last year, I think we came to you like in February, March. So if we're able to stretch those trays out, we definitely do that. Being, just no waste is a big thing.
Right. Very good. Okay, and then on with your monthly report.
Yeah, just to highlight a few things. Of course, we're gearing up for our volunteer luncheon. It is really a terrific day where we're able to bring all our sites together, whether that's like our Food with Friends site at the King Center, our Norville, Napoleon, Spring Arbor site, the Crouch Center, of course, Park Forest. And we invite everybody to come together and recognize the volunteers and all the work that they do to support the things that are happening at our senior centers and our congregate sites. So we have entertainment planned with Jay Hill, definitely doing a fun theme with something called our volunteers are sensational. So just be a lively tropical event. We're planning a fabulous menu with that, and I'm sure you guys will also be receiving an invite in our office to attend if you would like to do so. So again, if you want to save that date on the calendar, that is on June 27th. The other thing that we're working on is our Senior of the Year, recognized by the County Fair, Jackson County, and the Board of Commissioners. So there's information for somebody that would like to nominate somebody on the county website. We're also reaching out to our various community partners, either by email, letters, getting out on the 211 system, anything to help promote this. So if you work with an organization that may have a senior volunteer and you'd like to maybe encourage them to nominate them, this is a great opportunity. These nominations will close on June 13th. And then the County Advisory Board will review those nominations, and then we'll bring forth to the Human Services people that they have decided to move forward with. So again, this is looking at volunteer time for 60 and above. So somebody may have been volunteering in their 40s and have continued that initiative and given back in their community, but we're looking at 60 age forward. And I think that's really, I'm sorry. On my report, I included some information just regarding a client comment about Meals on Wheels. Recently, on May 7th, there was at the state capitol, Older Michiganians Day. And with that, there was just a lot of activity to support older adult services and support caregivers across the state. And Wellwise Services had reached out and tried to get comments from seniors who were receiving services. And this is one of the comments from somebody that receives Meals on Wheels and how this program has helped them to remain at home and not in a nursing home. And that kind of aligns with something that they're trying to do to increase funding for older adult home services. So there was a request to increase home-based services for like personal care, homemaker, respite care by $8 million, and then to look at Meals on Wheels across the state and try to put a request in to increase that by $2 million. So again, we're very supportive of anything that could bring more dollars to support the residents of Jackson County.
Very good. I will tell you, I just got back from North Carolina where I had a visit with a fellow who drives kind of a Meals on Wheels sort of thing down that way. And in their county, they don't have a dedicated millage or source of revenue for doing meals as we do here. So they find themselves kind of continually dancing around to achieve funding and keep people engaged and have the meals occur on a reliable basis.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt pretty thankful of the work that we do here in Jackson County with our dedicated millage and our very dedicated staff. So I wanted to let you know that that was nice to feel about our process here in Jackson.
And we often hear that just even from neighboring counties is that somebody called to receive Meals on Wheels, how quickly we can get them started. One of the things that's unique is we do pay minimum wage to compensate our drivers because of the number of people that they're serving. And I feel like there's value in that. Some organizations struggle to have volunteers to do that, and then they're put on a wait list because they don't have enough volunteers to deliver. So I think we're very fortunate in Jackson, the way that we run this program, that we can serve people usually within a day or two of that request. So.
And I will put the senior volunteer lunch on my calendar, June 27th. Commissioners, if you get a chance to be there, it's always a good time. And usually a packed house, if I recall.
It will be a packed house, yes.
Chair will entertain a motion to receive the report. Thank you, Commissioner Williams and Commissioner Willis. All those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
And now the Health Department. Madam Health Officer, good to see you. You have a reclassification to discuss.
Yes, before I get to my monthly report, I have a request to reclassify a position from a sanitarian 2, which is an AFSCME grade L position, or excuse me, grade K position, to a sanitarian coordinator, which remains an AFSCME position, but goes to a grade L. There's some background information in the staff report. Also talks about, how we got here. One of the things, as you know, we've been working within the Environmental Health Department. We're working to improve efficiencies, working to improve the way things work in there. What is sometimes goes unnoticed in the Environmental Health Department is some of our ancillary programs and smaller programs. We all know about food, we all know about well and septic, but we also have all of our type 2 water programs, which has received increased funds over the last few years. And there's also things like campgrounds, pools, MDHHS like daycare home inspections, our body art, we inspect all of the body art facility. A couple months ago, I was here talking about a PFAS water filtration program that we are now responsible for. So, these things come up and we take responsibility for them, but we haven't, that span of program coordination is a little too high with 2 coordinators. We have a food program and what is currently called a well and septic, or a field sanitarian coordinator. But all of those smaller programs and newer ideas coming in have led us to the need of having someone with a little more oversight of those programs. So what I'm asking for is just to reclassify one position from a sanitarian to a sanitarian coordinator of the type 2 and ancillary programs. That comes to about, with not including indirect, actual cost is just under $10,000 per year. And we have funding for that and no county funds attached. That will fall into our regular budget. I'm just asking for that request.
The chair will entertain questions about this issue. If no questions, then I'll entertain a motion to adopt it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
One question, when HR sets up the salary grades, the grade L, is that a one single dollar amount or is it a range of salaries?
There's a range that, this is AFSCME, so they are a set scale each year for however many years of service that they've been here.
Okay, so it's not a sliding scale.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, this position would start at the grade L 1 year, the position.
Chair will entertain a motion to adopt the staff recommendation with a recommendation for approval of the full board. Thank you, Commissioner Snell and Commissioner Williams. Any further questions? All those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. And now on to the monthly report.
Monthly report in a new format here. What I kind of realized was that I was duplicating my work, putting things in a couple of different formats for different things. And, if I could put them in one format and pull out what I needed at different locations, that would be easier. So I'll kind of skip over page 1. That's my at a glance. That's what I was already doing and for some other areas. But the former, slide presentation is basically this, just in a little bit of a consolidated format. So you have our community health, youth engagement information on there. There's a lot that I could point out, but in the interest of time, I won't. I do want to make note that our Get Real summer program is starting. We're still looking for a few more teen mentors, and I believe maybe we have a college age out of high school coordinators that we use for that program, and then our staff, obviously, but it will serve youth age 10 to 13 this year. Formerly, we had it up to age 15, but we've decreased that age just 10 to age 13. That's kind of an odd, what we've learned over a couple of years is 10 to 15 is a big gap in some of their likes and dislikes and things they want to do. It also puts the 15-year-olds very close to those who are in the teen mentor positions that are working there to mentor them. So, but all of that is out. They are still taking applicants for working for us and also for participation in the program this summer. That runs June 17th to July 18th. But lots of good work, obviously, going in the schools as always. That'll, wind down a little bit, but then we'll get ramped up and do all of our summer programming. We've had a lot of, success over the years with programming and things at the Y, and then just getting, anywhere where you can possibly be in the summer with health education. On the next page, so page 3, there is a little bit more information on where our opioid prevention, and if you remember, we're on our second opioid health educator. Our current health educator in that position has been there since October, and so now that she's kind of worked her way into the position, she's really starting to get into the community and do prevention activities in the community, as well as has started that opioid fatality review alongside the medical examiner's office. So then if you have the PDF in front of you, there is a cute little video we did for Public Health Week to kind of recognize what happens at the health department in a lot of different areas. And having our health educator outreach, we have had a tremendous increase in our digital outreach and the impact in the places that we're reaching people. Hearing and vision will be wrapping up here as we get to the end of the school year, and then they'll be off for the summer. Communicable disease on page 4, communicable disease immunization and WIC. One of the things we are just currently watching in that personal and preventative health area is measles. That is seen all over right now. Biggest outbreaks in the United States are in Texas, and then we've had Ontario. We've had some measles exposures in the state, none in Jackson County so far. But it is something that we have to keep educating about, because the importance of that and not having measles back in our community is extremely important. You'll see some information and some numbers on the WIC program. Just to note there, we track like what is purchased and everything through WIC. There was a 3.57 increase in healthy food redemption from 23 to 24. Spend a little bit of time here on page 5 with the Environmental Health Division. Just talk to you about, the need as we're working in that program to improve efficiencies and things there. So just overall, it's going well with Holly, Matthew, and I digging in. We're learning a lot down there. The staff is amazing. They do a really great job. And have done. So just, what I do want to make note of them, that although we're getting in there and questioning things and, saying we need a coordinator for this, our work is being done and it's being done well. But now it's how can we raise the bar and, put some emphasis on quality improvement and quality assurance in those areas and reach our community and serve them, even better than we have been. So one thing you may hear about is food program. I mentioned last month that food program licenses expired. Every restaurant has to fill out their renewal license with the state and pay their fees to the county by April 30th. Currently, as of this morning, we have 54 licenses in the county that have not been paid, and that is in the amount of $34,528 that are still outstanding. And we do have late fees. So currently, any of those licenses, those 54 licenses are currently operating without a license. So May 1st, we will start not just imposing fees, but imposing perhaps cease and desist orders on them because they're operating without a license. Hopefully we won't get to that point. We're making calls, we're making attempts to reach everybody. A few of those we do know that are restaurants that are not reopening that we have heard. So, but we haven't officially heard that they're closing, so we have to keep them on that list until the end. But that's just a few. So, well and septic. Obviously, this is spring is here. This is a busy time of the year for them. One just quick thing to note on our vector program. So our vector program is basically our mosquito program where we go and trap. We have a couple different grants that do trap different types of mosquito out there to analyze and send to the state for analysis to see what kind of, hopefully, to see that there are no diseases, but to see, what kind of things those mosquitoes are carrying and different types of mosquitoes are carrying. Instead of hiring an intern this year, we have transitioned that work to some of our internal staff. It just made more sense having some of our staff doing that along with their regular duties. So we did not post, well, we actually posted for that interim position and pulled it back and changed some of the procedures on that. The other information down on there kind of talks about the campgrounds, pools, and other things. Those all, every pool, you know, think of the outdoor pools, public pools, they all have to be inspected before they can open in May. So this is a busy time. Everyone wants to be open for Memorial Day, and we've had some beautiful weather. So they're all out checking out and making sure those pools are safe for when the kiddos and adults to get in those pools to swim, that is safe. So again, I already mentioned our leadership and operations. Things are going well with that. We're, you know, just trying to make sure that everything down there is that we can support the staff down there to do their work the best that we can. So that is all I have. If you have any questions.
Questions for the Health Department? Commissioner Bear, please.
Thank you. Have people been reporting to you a great increase in the tick population this year?
Yes, I myself have had a tick in my bed, so yes, they are all over. But we've already done our tick drags for the year and been sent to the state. We're not hearing an increase in any, you know, specific disease outbreak or anything coming from them.
All right,
But
where I used
they're
to,
out. They're definitely there.
and definitely much bigger population. The last several years, I'll get 4 or 5 ticks on me in the year. I've already pulled 14 of them off of me. So the tick population is way up.
Yep.
Okay. I will note, I don't know if I noted this last month, but I did attend a meeting at Arbor Village. Okay, did I say that? Okay, so.
It was that night. It was the night of this,
was
and
that
I
night?
was
Okay,
trying to make
so-
it and didn't make it there.
So I did attend it. Representative Leitner had a person there. Senator Schenck had a couple people there. And the ownership and the residents were there. And Eagle convened it. Eagle is the lead people on this water system. And apparently they're under an agreement to get the work done by June 30th. They have not penalized the mobile home park for all of their many failings and delays over the years. But just wanted to let you know, we're kind of staying on top of them. Spring Arbor Township has been beside themselves with displeasure with Arbor Village. So there will be something else will heat up as June 30th approaches and passes. Eagle is responsible. Yeah. Questions for, any further questions? Chair will entertain a motion to receive the report. Thank you, Commissioner Bear, Commissioner Snell. All those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Mr. Chair, please.
could we have the Health Department, could we have a list of restaurants that go beyond the 30 days? Is that something that would be public information, or is that something that's kept confidential?
If they go beyond the 30 days.
They go,
So
yeah,
if
they
we
get to
some
32
members-
days, I would think as a Board of Commissioners, we should be aware of that. Because in
I
the
can-
past, we've extended the time for restaurants to be able to pay up until August 30th because of the different health issues that were going on over the last 6 years. I'm just wondering,
We haven't done that in a couple years. I know we did that in like 2020, in 21, 22. Any that come to, I will give a caveat to the food licenses that, there are mail systems and there are issues with people not getting things. We definitely understand that, and we look at those on a case-by-case basis on whether, and that ultimately comes to the health officer, and it becomes my decision on whether or not we impose the late fees or not. But we also have, to caveat that, we have a history of certain businesses that, continually choose to not pay or pay on time. So,
well, we as commissioners have been threatened in the past, even in this meeting environment, by people that are chronically delayed in their communication with the health department.
I hope
That's
that
why
is
I'm
not
asking-
something you're experiencing
That's why I'm asking for,
currently,
I'm
so-
thinking 32 days out would be, just next month, be aware of what's going on and who they are.
And I definitely, again, I will say, if that is something that you are currently, or, that any of you hear that you are not getting answers or calls or correspondence from any staff, any area, whether it be environmental health, to our clinics, to, administration, that please bring that to my attention, because it is not acceptable and it's not tolerable in the current administration of the health department. But I absolutely, we can see where we're going.
Do we have a schedule of late fees or things like that that can be applied to?
Yes,
who
in
are late?
our board-approved fee schedule, there is late fees, and it goes up 25%. And for whatever outstanding balance is on there every month that it is late.
Okay, so if
So-
you're late a day, it's 25%? Okay, that's a little tough, but that's
I
how you
can
end
give
up
you
with
an-
chronically late people, is if you tolerate chronically late payments.
Exactly. And that's kind of where we're at. I know, and I do know that we did a lot of, back in 2020, that COVID period where, restaurants were definitely struggling with, obviously their profit and loss statements. To be a little stern on it, though, this is the cost of doing business if you want to do business, and that has to be, and it's like doing taxes. April 30th comes every year for every one of them, and it's the same, and this is, it comes from the state. So, but again, like I said, I always want to give that, grace that things do come up and things do happen, so that can fall on me at any given moment. But back to your original question, I think if, we get to that, before we do any kind of cease and desist, in my 3 years now standing up here during an April, we haven't had to do that, so.
I'm just aware that with Laura and their ability to communicate with businesses on different taxes and things that are due to the state, these people have been receiving notices pre-90 days. I do
We
know
send
that.
ours out on March, I believe like March 3rd or 4th, somewhere, whatever. So what they need to pay for us, we analyze that and send them their notices in the beginning of March saying it's due in April. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's a good suggestion. Did you have your hand up? Did we vote? Raise your hand. Okay, we voted. Thank you. We now move on to the claims. Chair will entertain a motion to pay the claims. Thank you, Commissioner Williams and Commissioner Snell. Any questions on the claims? They get down to you, Ray or Tony? All those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is other minutes. Please take notice of the DHHS board meeting minutes that are there. And I think I did hear that the DHHS board is meeting next Monday as opposed to Memorial Day. Okay, so I'll plan to be there. Reporting schedule for next month: Lifeways, the DHHS, and the medical examiner. I don't see, I don't think we need to see,
We're here every month.
I was gonna say, you guys are here every month, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. Public comment is now open. Any public comment out there? No public comment? Public comment is now closed. Committee member comments? Committee member comments? Hearing none, we stand adjourned.